Hey everybody, today we're going to look at snippets for NativeScript in Visual Studio Code. We're going to look at NativeScript core snippets and we're going to look at Angular snippets. Let's start with a project that I've already created here. Here's the directory for that project. It's just called NativeScript, and I'm going to open this up in Visual Studio Code. This is a sample project from the recently released Upgrading Cordova Applications to NativeScript course that just came out on NativeScripting. So this is a NativeScript core project, but I'll show you an example of a NativeScript Angular project also later in this video. So here we are. I have a page open here. It's just one of my XML pages. Let's take a look at the installed extensions. I have my NativeScript extension, which is very important to have if you're doing NativeScript development. I also have this NativeScript plus Angular Snippets by Nathan Walker. This is a very popular extension. It has snippets in it, snippets that we're going to look at also today. However, this one is more geared towards Angular folks. So it does have a dependency of the Angular 6 v6 snippets by John Papa. All right, let's take a look at this one now. NativeScript XML snippets. I have this one installed also. This one is by Tsvetan Ganev, and it also has 5 stars. However, this one doesn't have any dependencies. So we're going to start off with this one. I'm going to go back to my XML file. Now, because I have this extension installed, all I have to do is just start typing ns, and this will bring up all my snippets that are available for NativeScript. So if I start typing ns stack, I can just hit enter on that selected ns stack in the dropdown, and it'll create a stack layout for me. If I want a nested grid layout, for example, let's do ns grid 3x3 here. This creates a 3x3, 3 columns and 3 rows grid. And it has the elements inside of it with specified rows and columns, which is really handy. Let's remove this last label here, and instead of the label, let's say I want a button here. So I'm going to start typing nsbtn for button, and it creates a button for me. It has a tap handler defined, because what's a button without a tap handler? And of course, we can specify our attributes here as well. The attributes aren't really helpful because, well, row is just row, and column is just column. So the attribute snippets aren't really useful, but I use this quite a lot for the main element snippets. Let's say we want to do an action bar, ns action bar. There you go, look at that. It just pops up an action bar just like that, even with action items filled in. So that's pretty simple. Let's take a look at the Angular side next. Out on my terminal, I'm going to create a new app. TNS create ng snippets, and I'm going to give it the ng flag so it creates an Angular project. Once that's created, I'm going to go into that directory, and then I'm going to open this up in Visual Studio Code. Let's close all this up, and let's take a look at our app folder, and there's our app component HTML. Let's just work in here. So just like the NativeScript core project, the NativeScript Angular project will have the same snippets available. So for example, if I wanted an action bar here, I could type ns action bar, or I can just select it with my mouse like this, and there we go. Now notice that this time we didn't get the pre-filled out action bar, and that's because now we're using the Angular snippets. And just to show you that again, let's go here in our extensions in Visual Studio Code, and here are the NativeScript plus Angular snippets by Nathan Walker. If you want more information on these snippets, you can always check out the repository, see when it's been updated last, and you can take a look at some examples and some instructions here. Here are all the widgets listed. Here are all the attributes listed, and so on. So I highly encourage you to use snippets. This will save you a lot of typing if you're doing a lot of work in NativeScript Core or NativeScript Angular. If you're using Visual Studio Code, go ahead and install these snippets right now. They'll save you some serious time. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for other tutorials that are coming up in the future. And if you want to check out the new course on upgrading Cordova applications to NativeScript, head on over to nativescripting.com. It's a free course. It's more geared towards Cordova developers, so if you've already done some NativeScript in the past, and if you've taken other courses on NativeScripting, this one might be too rudimentary for you, but it's free, so hey, why not? Maybe you'll learn something new. Alright folks, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.